Once again, people are marching to the Bastille, but this time when they get there, they will find not a prison to be stormed, but a plush new opera house which is to have its lavish opening tonight. 200 years ago, the people who stormed the Bastille were looking for guns, and their slogan was to be liberty, equality, fraternity. A slogan which is now a bit of a cliché, precisely because it has proved to be so effective. The demands of these marchers are more specific, ranging from the cancellation of the Third World debt to freedom for New Caledonia. But above all, this march, organised by the French radical left, is a protest against the way that the socialist government is handling the bicentennial of the revolution. It's a demonstration against the celebration. The guillotine sure was quick. One day in 1794, it killed 61 people in 45 minutes. Some 17,000 people were executed during the Great Terror, and in recent times, having an ancestor who died on the scaffold has become a bit of a social cachet. This newspaper's unbeatable headline reads, "Did you have an ancestor decapitated during the revolution?" Inside, there are long lists of the names of the decapitees. One of those names is Georges Danton, who is typical of many revolutionaries in that he called for other people's deaths, especially the king's, with some enthusiasm, and ended up getting the chop himself. Christian ARNOUX is one of his descendants.
My family never really liked Danton. His existence was always hidden by everyone, and I didn't discover that he was my relation until I was 20. I thought he might be related to our family, but I didn't have any proof. It was when my grandfather came to live with my parents that I talked to him about our family and asked him questions about the Danton family. I had cousins who were called Danton, and my grandfather then explained to me that the revolutionary Danton was indeed our ancestor.
You say it was something they were ashamed of. Why was that?
Because until quite recently, most of our family were outright royalists, or certainly right-wing, and they didn't like to boast that they had a revolutionary in the family, and especially someone who was involved in cutting off so many heads.
But now it's very different. Having an ancestor who was killed in the revolution is something to be proud of.
I wouldn't exactly say that I was proud of Danton. After all, he didn't only do good things during the revolution. In particular, it was he who created, along with Robespierre, the terror. So I wouldn't exactly say that I'm proud. In fact, I wouldn't say that I liked him, but I do like studying his life and finding out what he did during the revolution.
This is the Café Pro-Cop in the Latin Quarter of Paris. During the revolution, it was part of a group of informal cafes where political debate was the order of the day. The new ideas were argued with a passion that astonished visitors. All the leading revolutionaries came here: Jean-Paul Marat, Georges Danton, and Maximilien Robespierre, later known as the Incorruptible. During the revolution, slavery was abolished, church and state were separated, and full religious tolerance was introduced. There was a sense that everything could be changed, had to be changed, that man could be remolded. The thrust of these ideas reached to every level of society, to every aspect of life. And perhaps in the end, it was this total certainty that everything could be remolded at will that led to the horrifying bloodshed. To us, the violence and the optimism may seem a bit unreal, but they were real, and they changed the history of France and of Ireland, where they inspired Wolfe Tone, amongst others. The modern world is still living with the consequences of the political explosion that was the French Revolution. The English poet Wordsworth lived through that time, and he summed up his feelings about it like this: "Bliss was it in that dawn to be alive, but to be young was very heaven." From Paris on the eve of the 200th Bastille Day. À votre santé.